This is the fun part of the show of taking all this wonderful knowledge and putting it to use. All right, AJ, let's get the party started with your pick of the week. This is Silver Miners ETF Amplify Junior, ticker
Yep.
symbol SILJ. A lot of extra words there in its title. That's kind of new to me.
Well, first, I want to give a shout out to Luis. He's one of our program participants. He's one of our best program participants. He's been with us for a few years, and he shows up religiously to our Thursday workshops where we have all of our folks give us candidates, and then we go through them very quickly, letting people learn as we do what we're looking for different candidates, and then we pick one and we plan out a trade on it. And this was one of Luis's a few weeks ago. And I've been watching it ever since Luis threw it our way. I love the price point. This makes it so that folks can get involved with it. And my thought here, as we're testing this top here around $12.75, my thought is that I want to short this symbol. Now, I didn't find, a lot of times I like to leg into these things. So I'm looking at possibly shorting a symbol right now, shorting the symbol. And then as we get lower, I'm going to sell or write puts against that covered short. The short actually is my initial covering position. In other words, think of it as you're in the insurance business. And in order to sell these puts to get that put premium, to start your business, you need to invest in, and in this case, have a margin requirement for shorting it. And sometimes I like to see if there's a far out in time, deep in the money put option that I could use to substitute for shorting the stock, because I like doing the diagonal, including a little bit of leverage, but also getting away from shorting symbols. I didn't find one that I really like. So for this particular ETF, what I'm looking for is a good, test of that $12.75 that I've got on my chart right now. And when I got a good test of that and I'm heading back down, I've got maybe a lagging indicator in place hinting that I'm heading back down. I want to short some of these in lots of 100, because in order to do the option strategy, everything is in, contract is 100 option shares. So I want to do things in lots of 100. And then once I've got that shorted and I'm handing down, I'm looking somewhere below this $11.63, but I'm going to look for that bottom, maybe a test around that 10.50. And that's when I'm going to start the process of selling put premium and making money off of this thing. So I really like the idea. I did get a top signal, and I actually did short a little of this. I'm looking possibly to add to my position. Again, taking into consideration my risk tolerance on this particular position. But yeah, I'm looking to short some SILJ next time. I find out, add to my shorted position at this 12.75, wherever I get that, confirmation that a top has been found. And then I'm in business. I'm going to be selling puts every time price dips down, maybe even buying some, 3 to 6 month out protective calls up near my break even price at the same time I sell those puts, basically collaring the position. And that's kind of my strategy on this particular ETF.
Dan, did you like what AJ had set up there from another options perspective?
Yeah, I am a student of metals because they are, golly, man, they are tricky things. So I don't have an opinion necessarily on this one, but yeah, interesting. I like the way that you're looking at levels here. It's interesting how just gold has been just,
oh my God,
a rocket ship, and silver has not, which historically I think you wouldn't see as much, right? But I think a lot of that has to do with fundamentals, just because China and Russia they have been big physical gold buyers for months and months and months, and not buying silver. So I think you see that sort of fundamental disconnect that sometimes sometimes you don't see really. So yeah, that is interesting. Looking at, seeing some, the resistance here and such. I think especially if I'm a big 21-day moving average person for short-term trades. And I think if it busts below that 21-day moving average, it could be an interesting short-term, buy some in the money puts, high delta. Yeah, that could make sense for sure.